Elsheni como ochane so how age politics abadi. Podcast of Sefenia, Miko make headlines ne Jembre now you be Exxon ye bo evra a ye Kwabena Boahene aso ye na deputy attorney general just a slim size. Etimi edin simfo bi aba yasoma onia edibi Exxon bona ninsam wo kan nyina ne se. Ohwe Boahene the defense a wo de e makota insisi so there's a whole lot of discrepancies. Opinion Panchafon, a deputy attorney general. Ajemre, now obi in Chimo. Now at this point in time, oral cases are all bribery. And also, or church and I being a far one, and who be semi be absolute. Yamon have age politics up.
The details of the accused person and his wife as the owners, they were trying to say that those were national security accounts, and even that the accused person's wife was a national security operative. That also is abandoned. So we saw all these attempts to explain the transaction. And as I sit here, my analysis of this tells me that, okay, some of the explanations are inconsistent with some of them, because if you have actually bought the equipment, then that same money cannot be used as loan. You cannot explain the same money as loan that you have given, because you have used the money to buy the equipment. So the defense is even inconsistent with itself. Then if it is national security account, it's simple. You can easily show that this is a national security account, and what we did is this. And you will not say that you actually bought the equipment, or you will not explain again that the same national security account is a loan that you have given. So if you look at the lines of defenses themselves, they are inconsistent with each other. So where we sit, I get the impression, myself and my team, we analyze this every day. And the impression we get is that it's like the defense is fishing, they are fishing for possible defense. So you try this, if it's not going right, you jump to the next one. That is what the impression we get. So when we see things on social media and defense attorney is trying to explain, well, we don't do that. We don't speak to the journalists every day after court, but it amazes us that it's happening that way. So we are on track. We have one more day for cross-examination of our last witness. After that, we believe that the court, that's our side of the story, we believe that the court would uphold that we have satisfied the threshold and will call on accused persons
to open their defense.
Then we will see what really the defense is, because at least cross-examination, they've given us indication of where they want to go, which I said were inconsistent. But maybe when the defense is open, they may bring some particular strong defense. Why not? Our job is never to force people to be jailed. If you have a good defense, why not? You should be allowed to, and we don't consider it as win or lose.
Back to the NSS.
Yes,
NSS. What happened to it?
Yes, so NSS. See, the NSS has so many. We have split the case into several dockets. Right now, 2 of the dockets are before the courts. The others that are waiting to be put before the court. That is the Gift Your Worry, and then Asante. Those ones are before the court. In Gift Your Worry, the trial is ongoing. We have called, I think our last witness is, witness number 4 is in the box. Is in the witness box before the legal vacation. Like I mentioned, I spoke to the accused person's lawyer today, and they are not conducting, that case is not part of the it's not being conducted during the vacation. That's what he tells me. So the legal vacation has stalled that one as at now. Asante is also paused by the legal vacation, but the last time we're yet to complete CMC, case management conference. But obviously because of the legal vacation, that also has stalled. So again, then it's not true that cases have been put to facilitate oral. Some oral cases are not being conducted in the legal vacation. So that's for NSS. The other dockets, which are not before court, we would put them before court subsequently. But I think we are focusing on these 2 for now. Then you mentioned another case.
So there's a NSS. We've talked about the Hanan.
Yeah. Yes, Hanan. Where we are with Hanan, we are done with.
That's a buffer stock.
Buffer stock. Yeah, buffer stock. The allegation is also quite straightforward, if you ask me. So Hanan is was the CEO of the buffer stock. what our investigation discloses is that he had this practice where he would take monies for belonging to NAFCO and put it into the bank account of a private company, not a private sole proprietorship, which is private, and classify it as the sole proprietor having supplied buffer stock with food. Buffer stock will buy food from people and supply them to secondary schools. So the investigations show that this food supply were not actually done, but he ends up paying money from NAFCO to this person, and then he goes behind to collect the money from the person. So basically, that's the business model. Let me put it that way. So he takes the money, pretend that it's money being paid for food supply when no actual food supply was done. Then he goes behind to collect the money from the person. Now, this person who is helping him do this is our witness, and he tells us that this is what was happening. He has his own sole proprietorship, which has a bank account. Sometimes monies land in the account. He doesn't know what he has done to receive those monies. He receives a call from Hanan, and then that I've sent this money, so issue this check or transfer this money to this. So this person is our witness and is testifying to this effect. Then the banking officer, who is the relationship officer to both this person, and in fact, it was the accused person, Hanan, who actually advised this our witness to open his bank account, a new bank account with his bank, and assign the same relationship officer to this witness's business. So it was easy because then the bank official would then facilitate the process for moving the money from this account to other accounts, some of which belong to his wife. That's why his wife is also standing trial, because some of the monies were put in other bank accounts which the wife was the owner. These two people who are key to the transaction are testifying for the prosecution. So when we hear other stories, we are still wondering, is it the same case that is being represented to the media? But where we have reached, we have done our disclosures, and trial was supposed to start, I think, in the last week of July. But one application after the other, we are in the vacation, and then the lawyer said they will not come to court at all, which is also part of the legal vacation issue. So if they had, but for this legal vacation issue, would have been, our first witness would have been in the box, and probably today they probably would have finished with cross-examining him and will be calling the second witness. We have just 3 witnesses that we want to call in this case.
Okay.
Now, this explanation should tell you why this legal vacation issue is becoming a big issue. But it serves a purpose. It is to prevent the trial from going.
You said earlier to delay. And the final one is the SkyTrain.
Yes, SkyTrain, we have finished, we have closed our case. We did so, I think, in May. The defense have filed submission of no case.
Which has been dismissed.
Yes, has been dismissed. And they were asked to file their defenses within 21 days since then. The 21-day lapsed, and they did not file their defense. Rather, they brought an application for stay of proceedings and all that. The judge endorsed them, heard application for stay of proceedings, dismissed it, and still asked them to file within 21 days. I think the 21 days expires this week, and then we'll go back to court on 24th to conduct CMC in respect of their
24th will still be due to legal vacation, but
yes,
no issue there.
Yes, but CMC, even if we go by their standard, CMC is not actual trial. It's still one of those preliminary matters. So we'll conduct CMC, and depending on further direction from the judge, we begin they will open their defense and start calling their witnesses. Even that case, they have also petitioned the Chief Justice to stop that judge from, working during the legal vacation. And you are wondering, why is it that only these cases or these lawyers, they are the only ones interested in judges not working in the legal vacation? But as we sit here, today is Monday, they've not filed any process as far as we've not been served with their process of any defense. That gives them 21 plus 21 with periods beginning. So like 2 months or more, we are waiting for a defense to be filed.
Okay. Let's talk about a recent controversial subject, which is the conviction of Asante Bediatuo, who is the former boss head. And I know the Attorney General played a very important role in facilitating the evidence that led to the conviction in the U.S. You made a point, your department, your boss made a point that you are interested in the Ghana side because these bribes, over $1 million, were paid to Ghanaian officials, MPs, former minister, and a host of others. Then you could give us a bit more detail that they also look into that will basically mean you have to question people, suspects. Yeah. First of all, has the FBI disclosed to you the identities of these individuals who actually received the bribes?
So there are different stages. So to some extent, some identities have been disclosed. Not that disclosed, but because we helped them in the investigation.
So you knew already?
Yeah, we knew some of the people,
okay.
Some part of the story already. And let's not forget that it was a very difficult investigation, even for the FBI. Because the case itself started 2018 or 2019.
Yes.
That was when the case started.
Yes.
So you see how long it took for them to even complete it. So we are in 2026 before a conviction was. So even for the FBI, it was a very difficult case with all the effort that. So it's not only. And we coordinate the FBI's relationship with any and every investigative agency
in Ghana.
Mm. So when Attorney General said we are working with our counterparts, in that statement that we are working with our counterparts, we are saying that we, as the law enforcement agencies in Ghana,
so police, Yoko, all the other BNI,
they are all involved in this. So it wasn't only Yoko or only OSP. And I think Mr. Martinamidu came to even clarify that it was during his time that he started cooperating with FBI, and that he had even started his own investigation and was updating the public on it until the current OSP came, and then the updates disappeared. Mm. And I think in his article was even questioning why the updates disappeared or the case disappeared from the OSP's list.
Yeah.
That tells you that we've been working on this matter for all this while. So it is not as if it is the American conviction which is getting us to begin working on this matter. So what Yoko was trying to communicate to the public is that they've been involved and they are still working to get it done. The unfortunate part is that we are not able, or it is not proper for our work, for the work of investigative agencies to keep updating the public of every detail that is happening. So sometimes I plead with the public, it's good that, yes, the public must know because it's their money that we are all using to do this work. So the public is entitled to know that, no question about that. But I think the public want to see the effect of what we are doing even more than knowing. So it would be wrong on our part to be disclosing information that would defeat the purpose of the investigations just because they want to know. Because every information you give out becomes public information, even to the accused persons or the suspects. Mm-hmm. And they may take steps to affect or to change the course of things. So I'll plead with the public to understand that it is not everything that we can put out there. So we cannot put out the names, we cannot put out, when we can put it out without any consequences, adverse consequences on the investigation, we will do. Mm. But when we don't put it out, it should not be interpreted to mean that there's no name, or we are feigning ignorance, or we don't know what we are doing, or that we are hiding things from the public. It is just the nature of the work. I didn't know this, but where I sit now, I now understand why public investigative agencies cannot be making a lot of...
Because the accusation is because fundamentally the alleged crime happened under a previous NDC regime, and you happen to be in power now, you have an interest to cover up, because largely this minister in question will be caught on the web and will be a John Mahama appointee. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, so you see, I think the president, John Mahama, has showed time without number that he is not afraid of prosecuting his own appointees. He has had his own appointees prosecuted even when he was in government and jailed before. I thought that would give, or that should give, some level of comfort. And I know a lot of Ghanaians have that level of comfort that when it comes to President Mahama, he will not spare you merely because you are his appointee. What we seem to be seeing is I wouldn't say opposition element, but I see that there are a section of Ghanaians who also believe that he is not willing or is not interested in punishing his own people. But that is not supported by the facts, because the facts support clearly that when he was president, he tried, convicted his appointees. So there shouldn't, and I want to assure the public that there shouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind that any minister who served under the first administration of the president will be what? Will be
involved in the AXA briberies.
And then will be covered, or the president would save him or hide or conceal evidence. Or no, that I can tell you that is not the president I know. The person who appointed me, I think I have a fair idea of the things he can do and the things that he can do. And I don't have that fear at all. And so I would encourage the public to also...
I mean, it's been a few days since the conviction was procured in the U.S. Have anybody been questioned yet? Do you know that if people have been invited
I will not
related to this locally?
So we take briefings
from IOCO, because IOCO is a lead agency on this.
And IOCO is but we've not taken our briefing yet, so I will not be able to confirm or whether anyone has been.
But you are categorical that everybody who was involved, and last week I believe the minority did a press conference addressed by Afwejua, who was making the point that there's a mention of a certain Mahama in the list of individuals who may be involved, and that he has relations with the president, that his brother or whatever, and that individual must be disclosed, and you go after him. You heard that? I don't know if that has come to attention.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't see it's a legitimate call he's making. He's entitled to want to know, even as an ordinary citizen, much more as an MP. He is entitled to desire an answer whether this person is indeed that answer will come because the investigations will be done. So I don't have any qualms with the fact that he's demanding. But I think when I listened to him, I got the impression that he had already come to a conclusion that someone somewhere is not going to hold someone accountable for what has happened. And I don't know the basis for thinking that way, but I have already said that I know the president I work with or for, and I don't doubt in my mind that he will put anyone he would definitely allow the law to proceed regardless of who is involved.
Should the AXA deal be cancelled now on the back of this conviction?
That will require a lot of...
We and some who team course or so, Mamma was so demre. As soon as what in the Dumbe, Yebasan Asso.